congressional panel charged with overseeing the bailouts has some harsh criticism of the Treasury's programs to help struggling homeowners. The panel's latest report shows that in spite of all the efforts taken by the Obama administration, 2.8 million homeowners received a foreclosure notice in 2009, and 1 in 4 homeowners with a mortgage is underwater. That is a quarter of the mortgages. Well, Elizabeth Warren is the chair of the U.S. Congressional Oversight Panel for TARP, and she joins me now from Washington. And Professor, good to speak with you as always. I know you always like to sort of lay it out straight for people. And I read through the executive summary of this report, and you know, the number that sticks out, of course, is this 2.8 million foreclosure notices. But are these notices really going to turn into foreclosures?
Well, let me put it this way. Last year, Treasury's now worked on a program for 15 months, and they managed to get 167,000 homeowners into so-called permanent modifications. For every one homeowner that got into a permanent modification, 10 homeowners lost their homes. Ratio of 10 to 1. That's how it worked. So, no, not every one of these will make it into foreclosure. But right now, the solution, the notion of having people in permanent modifications, is very small relative to the magnitude of the problem.
So you're saying that Treasury's goal, or the White House goal really, of offering loan modifications to about 3 to 4 million homeowners, that's just unrealistic, is what you're saying?
Well, it's unrealistic in terms of actually getting them into permanent modifications and stopping the foreclosures. But let me make an important point here. Ultimately, we will not be able to save every homeowner, and frankly, it shouldn't be our goal. The goal is to get those who can be saved, those who've got problems. Remember, we're through the subprime now. We're into the prime mortgages. People who are not able to pay the mortgages where they are, but could pay a quite reasonable amount, to try to bring together the lenders and the borrowers and say, look, let's sober up. 85 cents on the dollar, 90 cents on the dollar, whatever the right number is, that keeps a performing mortgage for the lender, and it keeps the homeowner in the home and maximizes the value of the home. Right,
but I want to also just quote in your report, and we have this quote, you're talking about people who actually modify their loan already. 59% of their total income on debt service, including payments on first and second mortgages, credit cards, car loans, student loans, and other obligations. In other words, you're saying that even people who modify their loans, over 60% still have all these other debt obligations. Now, this implies to some people that you're saying that the government now has to, help people on their car loans? They have to help people on their credit card loans, or what? Where does it stop?
No. This is not about how many more government dollars we should give to people so they can give it to their lenders. That's not what this is about at all. What this is about is getting realistic about how much it is that these homeowners can pay and still stay in the homes, preserving value for themselves and for their lenders and for their communities, and how much it is that the lenders have to come to the table and make this work. So far, what Treasury has done is just offered incentives, and it hasn't been enough to get the job done. You know, this is really kind of a question of, are we going to rip the Band-Aid off and say, look, some of you aren't going to be in modifications at all. You need to get out of these houses. Some of you, we need to cut some deals. We can't keep rolling forward with 1 million foreclosures again this year, next year, and the year after. The economy can't recover under those circumstances.
Professor, we only have a few seconds, but I really want to squeeze this in. You know, your name has been said as a possible nominee for the Supreme Court. Have you considered this further?
It is an enormous honor to have your name mentioned in such company. I am deeply grateful. But right now, I am really focused on mortgage foreclosures.
Okay. All right, Professor, good to talk with you as always.